Welcome to Integrity Linguistics Institute. So I'll give you maximum 2 minutes to read the question as well as the paragraph. So first you do it on your own, type your answer in the chat box, and then I'll be discussing with you in detail. So let's take a look into the seventh question over here. So let's read the question. In the first paragraph, the writer, okay, so again, the writer is extremely important. Now, what is the writer doing in the first paragraph? The writer is using something. Okay, the writer is using something, and what is he using? He is using the words of another person. Now, see, there are two people involved. Okay, there is a writer, and now there is a second person. Okay, that second person's name is E. Von Cotter. Okay, and what is the writer doing? The writer is using, okay, the writer is using this person's words, right? And what is your duty here? Your duty over here is to understand why the writer is using these words. So this is a purpose type question. Purpose basically means to identify the reason. So here you need to find out for what reason, for what purpose, okay, for giving us what message is he using E. Von Cotter's words. That is your duty over here, right? So let's see what is, okay, let me just open this document over here that I have prepared. So I'll be sending this document to you later on. Right. So this seventh question over here, okay, this question over here is basically making you, find the writer's purpose or the intention of the author. Okay, so this is a writer's purpose type question. It asks you why the writer included a specific quote. Quote means another person's word, okay, or statement. In this case, E. Von Cotter. Right. Now, why is this a purpose type question? The question is focusing on the function of a quote within the paragraph. Function means what? Function means, duty. Okay, so what duty or like what purpose, okay, does this quote fulfill? Okay, and you need to understand that this type of a question, purpose type question, it does not ask for a factual recall. Okay, they are not asking you to read the entire paragraph and recall the information. That is not what it's asking. You have to interpret. That means you need to interpret the intent of the writer. Now you see, it has so much depth into it. Okay, this is why it is called as a purpose type question. So here your entire focus should be why this writer is using another person's word, that is E. Von Cotter's words. Okay, so that is what you have to do. Okay, so again, there is a method. Okay, there's a strategy towards it. So we'll be doing, we'll be focusing on all this, and I'll be sending you this document. And there is a list of vocabulary over here that I'll be sending you the vocabulary as well. Okay, and here also some emotive languages will be coming, and I'll tell you where it is coming. Right. So let's read the sentence over here. Right. So the seventh question is, in the first paragraph, the writer uses E. Von Cotter's words too. Okay. So why is he using E. Von Cotter's words? First reason. Okay. So what is answer option A, B, C, and D? All are reasons, all are purposes. First reason, to explain the main causes of sleep deprivation. Okay. So we have sleep deprivation. That is your inability to fall asleep, or the person is not getting enough sleep. Okay, and then there are different causes. Okay, so causes basically means what? Reasons. Okay, so reason number one, reason number two, reason. So because of all these causes, a person is getting sleep deprivation, and he is explaining. Okay, so here the purpose, now you have to make the connection. The purpose of using E. Von Cotter's words is to explain to us. So the writer is trying to explain, okay, he's trying to explain to us the main causes of sleep deprivation. And how is he doing it? How is he explaining the main cause of sleep deprivation? By using the words of E. Von Cotter. Right? So that is what is happening over here. Answer option B, he is using E. Von Cotter's words to reinforce a view, means a point of view. Okay, so he's having his own perception, he's having his own point of view, and he's reinforcing it. That means he is strengthening it. Okay, he is strengthening his viewpoint about the impact of sleep deprivation. Impact basically means what? consequence. Okay, so because of sleep deprivation, there will be certain impacts. Impacts basically means consequence, right? So he has a viewpoint. Okay, the writer has a viewpoint regarding the impact of sleep deprivation, and he is reinforcing it. That means he is emphasizing it. He is strongly reinforcing that idea to us. And how is he doing it? He is doing that by using Yvonne Cotters words. So what is the purpose of using Yvonne Cotters words? To reinforce the viewpoint about the impact of sleep deprivation. Now let's come to answer option C. Question some research findings about sleep deprivation. Now, what is the meaning of question over here? Question some research findings about sleep deprivation. What is the writer? Why is the writer using Yvonne Cotters words? What is the meaning of question some research findings means? This is a slightly tough question. If you want, you can unmute yourself, because this is a tough question to type in the chat box. If you want, you can unmute yourself and tell what you understand by answer option C. The writer uses Yvonne Cotters words to question some research findings about sleep deprivation. Is there anyone? Doesn't matter if your answer goes wrong. No one is going to judge. Question some research findings. What is the attitude? Tell me, what is the attitude to tell me? What is the attitude towards the research findings? Questioning, yes. So that means, okay, so regarding research findings. So research findings basically means what? Research findings means a research has happened. Yes, very good. Very good. Okay, disagreement. That is the word I was looking for. Okay, so disagreement. Okay, now you see over here, there was a research. Okay, a research was done. Okay, and there has been some findings, means the results. Okay, the results of certain experiments. So about sleep deprivation, there has been certain experiments done, some research has been done, and there has been some findings, but the writer is not believing them. Okay, the writer is not agreeing them. The writer is not really believing that these findings are correct. So what is he doing? He is questioning it. Okay, so for example, if I'm lying to you, you will question me, right? You will tell, no, 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 I don't believe you. You're lying to me. And that is the reason why I am questioning you. Okay, so questioning. Now, you see, that is the meaning of this word. So here, the writer is not agreeing. The writer is not believing the results of this study over here. So he is questioning. Now, he is using Yvonne Cotters words. He is using Yvonne Cotters words to question this. Okay, he is to express his disagreement. He is using Yvonne Cotters words. You see that? Okay, you must be able to make this connection like this. Now, let's come to answer option D. Describe the challenges involved in sleep deprivation research. So here it is a little bit straightforward. Okay, so he believes there are certain challenges. Okay, so when it comes to doing research, there are certain challenges, and he wants to describe those challenges to us. Okay, so the main purpose of using Yvonne Cotters words is to describe those challenges to us. Right. So this is what is happening over here. Now, before we go to the paragraph, let's just quickly do the verb analysis, right? So let's just quickly do the verb analysis so it becomes much more easier. So the first paragraph, why is he using Yvonne Cotters words? So this is what you need to find out. Okay, why the writer, the purpose, okay, the why he's using Yvonne Cotters words. Now let's take a look into answer option A, to explain the main causes. So here, what is the verb over here? Explain over here. Okay, so he wants to explain the main causes of sleep deprivation, and that is the reason why he is using Yvonne Cotters words. Right. Now, what about answer option B? Reinforce a view about the impact of sleep deprivation. So what is he doing over here? What is the action over here? What is the verb over here? Reinforcement. Okay, so he is strengthening his viewpoint. Okay, he is solidifying his viewpoint regarding the impact of sleep deprivation. Okay, and for that reason, he is using Yvonne Cotters words. Answer option C, what is the action over here? Questioning, right? He is doubting, okay? He is questioning some research findings. So that is the action over here. This is the verb over here. And for this purpose, for this reason, he is using Yvonne Cotters words, right? And finally, describing the challenges. So what is he doing? What is the action over here? There are certain challenges, and he is describing the challenges involved in sleep deprivation research. Right, now you see, main causes of sleep deprivation, reinforce a view about the impact, research findings, questioning, and describing the challenges. We have 4 different things over here. All right, so it's a slightly tricky question when it comes to verb analysis. Now, what you should do, you have comprehended the question. Okay, so again, you have to practice to make sure that you're able to comprehend all this in a short period of time. So we have finished with comprehension. Comprehension basically means understanding the question, and for that, we'll do the keyword analysis. Now, you have to read the passage, that is the first paragraph, with a focus, right? So for that, you need retention. Okay, you need to remember the question. Don't forget the question. The question is a purpose type question. Your duty is to find why he is using E1 quarters words. So now you have to register this information to your memory. You must not forget the question. That is what we call as retention. And then you should go and detect the answer. So now you have to be a detective. Okay, just like a detective in a crime investigation scene, you have to go there and you have to detect the correct answer. And we have 4 answer options. If choosing the correct answer option is difficult, then just focus on eliminating the incorrect answer options. Okay, so now let me just give you one small tip over here. Okay, so one tip that I can give you over here is when it comes to this word over here, the question is he is using E1 quarters words. So just focus on E1 quarters words over here. Now you see, this is the first paragraph, right? So this is the first paragraph. Now there are some you will be able to see. Now you see, from here to here, and from here to here. Now you see, this particular sentence, the second sentence over here, it is beginning with a quotation. Okay, it's beginning with an inverted comma. Okay, so it is beginning over here and it is ending here. Okay, so this is where it is ending, right? And this sentence also, it is beginning with an inverted quote. You see, it is beginning with an inverted quote over here and it is ending over here. But why is this sentence? Now see, millions of people, why this sentence is not having that? Because you know why? When we are writing someone else's words, okay, when we want to use the same words written that has been said by another person, or we are taking that same dialogue from a document, we will always put those documents or put those sentences in inverted commas. Okay, that is what we call as these things. So these are the words. Okay, so these sentences that I have highlighted, these are not the words of the writer. Remember it. Okay, so these words, okay, from millions. Okay, so the blue color things, okay, the blue color words you see over here, these words are the words of the writer's own words. But the yellow color things that you see over here, they are not the words of the writer. They are the words of this person. And that person's name is E1 Cotter. Right. So the question is asking you why he is using E1 Cotter's words. So what you need to do, you have to give more importance to these close quotations because these are the words that has been taken from E1 Cotter. And now you have to make the connection. You have to make the connection like for what reason the writer is using E1 Cotter's words. Right. So let's see what the writer is saying. Okay, so let's see. So here also give importance to emotive words, okay? Because if you're able to, again, this is you have to find why the writer is using. So you have to identify the attitude. You have to identify the emotion of the writer. So that is why that emotive words will be very, very beneficial over here. So let's read the sentence over here. He's saying millions of people who suffer sleep problems also suffer myriad health burdens. Okay, so what is the writer saying? The writer he's expressing his emotion, right? So he's saying there are so many people who suffer sleep problems. Okay, that is, they are not able to get proper sleep. And these people also suffer myriad health burdens. Myriad means a huge variety. Okay, a huge variety. So what is the emotion that we are getting from the writer? The writer is saying sleep problem is a very dangerous thing. People who suffer from sleep problem, they suffer from so many other health problems as well. Okay, so that is what we understand. So he's saying sleep problem is not a simple issue. Okay, being sleep deprived is not a simple issue. It is a very, very dangerous issue, because if a person is suffering from sleep problem, they are also suffering from several other health burdens. See, emotive words. See the importance of emotive language. It will help you to understand the point of view of the writer. And this you have to connect with the words of Yvonne Cotter so that it makes a little bit more sense. In addition to emotional distress, now you see, in addition to emotional distress, now you see, that is an emotional word, and cognitive impairments, these can include high blood pressure, obesity, and metabolic syndrome. Okay, so these are not emotive words. Distress is an emotive word, right? So he's saying in addition to, that means the people who are suffering from sleep deprivation, they will suffer from emotional distress. They will also suffer cognitive impairments. Cognitive basically means what? Brain function. Impairments means not working properly. So emotional distress will be there. If the person suffering from sleep problems, cognitive impairments will be there. Along with them, he is saying, now see, myriad health burdens. What are the health burdens? They can include high BP, okay, obesity, and metabolic syndrome. So what is the opinion of the speaker, of the writer over here? Is so he's from this first two sentences, we are able to understand that the writer is believing that sleep problem is a very, very dangerous issue. Right. It has very serious negative consequences on the human body. Right. Now you see the Yvonne Cotter's words are coming. Now see, what is your duty over here? Your duty over here is to find why the writer has used Yvonne Cotter's words. So let's see what he is saying by using Yvonne Cotter's words. So he's saying in the studies, okay, in the studies we have done, almost every variable we measured was affected. There is not a single system in the human body that is not affected by sleep. Okay, and who is saying this? University of Chicago sleep researcher Yvonne Cotter. So who is Yvonne Cotter? He is a sleep researcher working in University of Chicago. And what is Yvonne Cotter saying? So these are not the words of the writer. The writer is using Yvonne Cotter's words. So what is Yvonne Cotter saying? In the studies we have done. So Yvonne Cotter has done so many studies. Okay, and almost every variable means measurement. Okay, so for example, pulse rate, respiration rate, blood glucose level, ECG, EEG. Okay, so these are what we call as variables, right? So this person did a lot of studies, and every single variable that they measured was affected. Okay, every single. So ECG was affected, EEG was affected, blood sugar was affected, pulse rate was affected, respiration rate was affected, temperature was affected. Every single variable was affected. Okay, in these studies they had done. And now the Yvonne Cotter is saying there is not a single system in the body that is not affected. So how many systems do we have? We have the cardiovascular system, we have the respiratory system, we have the neurovascular system, right? We have the several systems in the body, right? We have the digestive system, right? So like this, we have different systems in the body, and he's saying there is not a single system in the body that is not affected by sleep, which means sleep affects every single system of the body. And he is saying proper sleep is very, very important. And now, what is the second sentence over here coming from Yvonne Cotter? Every time we sleep deprive ourselves, every single time, okay? Not just 5 out of 10 times, 10 out of 10 times, 100%. 100% of the times we sleep deprive ourselves, things go wrong. Okay, things go wrong. So, what is the emotion over here? Okay, every single time we deprive ourselves of sleep, things go wrong. Now, what is the duty of, see, the first paragraph telling why the writer is using these words? Is he telling, okay, I'm using Yvonne Cotter's words to show this message? It is not mentioned that you have to infer. You have to infer by reading, comprehending, understanding, reflecting, and coming to your own inference. Okay, so now let's come to the answer options. Now, what is answer option A telling? The writer is using Yvonne Cotter's words to explain the main causes of sleep deprivation. Now, is this mentioned anywhere? Okay, so you can go back and forth. You can go back and forth exactly. So here, explaining the main causes. So did we read about, Yvonne Cotter saying, or the writer saying, this causes sleep deprivation, or this causes sleep deprivation? So we did not read anything about what causes sleep deprivation. Right. What did we read? We read consequences caused by sleep deprivation. Are you getting my point? Okay, what did we read? We read the consequences caused by sleep deprivation. Okay, so for example, high blood pressure, obesity, metabolic syndrome, emotional distress, cognitive impairments, right? These are the consequences caused by sleep deprivation. But what causes sleep deprivation? That is nothing. Okay, there is nothing mentioned regarding the causes of sleep deprivation, right? So, for that reason, what can you do? You can very easily eliminate answer option A. Okay, so A is eliminated. Right. Now let's come to answer option B. Now, what is the B option telling us? B is telling reinforce a view about the impact of sleep deprivation. So, is the impact clearly mentioned? Yes, it is mentioned, right? Emotional distress, cognitive impairment, yeah, obesity. Okay, all those kind of things were mentioned. Okay, and also what is the Yvonne Cotter saying as well? Yvonne Cotter was saying every single system in the body was negatively impacted. Okay, not even a single system was left unimpacted. And also, what did we read? Before that, we read that every variable, right? Every single variable was impacted negatively, right? So, what is the writer trying to say? The writer is saying sleep deprivation. So, from the emotions of the writer, we are able to sense that the writer is saying sleep deprivation has very serious negative impacts on the human body. Now, what is he doing? He is reinforcing that idea to us. Okay, he is, strengthening that idea to us, and he's telling, see, I have proof. I am not the only one who's saying I have proof. And see, I'm taking the words of a sleep researcher. His name is Evan Cotter. He was in this particular Chicago University, and he is using those words to give us a reinforced idea regarding the impact of sleep deprivation. Okay, so the verb over here, reinforce a viewpoint. The keyword over here, impact, sleep deprivation, everything is mentioned, right? So you can put a question mark. Okay, that is, you highly suspect that B could be the correct answer. Actually, B is indeed the right answer. But anyway, we haven't eliminated answer option C and D. So you can, put a question mark over there. If you're a little bit uncertain, or if you're fully certain, you can choose B as the right answer. Now, what is the verb in answer option C? Question some research findings. So, did we read anything about any research findings? That is, yes, research findings were done, right? That is, researchers were done. And what were the research findings? It causes every single variable will be, was measured, was affected. And also every single, what do you call it? System, every single system in the human body was also affected. So there are certain research findings. Okay, research findings are mentioned about sleep deprivation. But what is the verb over here? What is the action over here? Question. Is he doubting? Is he disagreeing the research findings? No, he is actually agreeing with them, right? He's actually supporting them. He is saying sleep deprivation causes a myriad of health burdens. So it is the exact opposite of questioning. He is basically agreeing to it. So it is a direct contradiction. So this question over here, this word over here, he is not questioning this findings of sleep deprivation. So for that reason, answer option C is eliminated, right? And what about D option? D is telling describe the challenges involved in sleep deprivation research. So we did not read anything regarding any challenges. Did we read about any challenges to do sleep deprivation research? It is very expensive, or it is very difficult to get participants. Okay, or we don't have scientists. So did we read any challenges like that? We did not read any challenges like that. And definitely he is not using Yvonne Cotter's words to describe the challenges as well. So we can eliminate answer option D. Okay, so D is the easiest to eliminate. Okay, and explaining the main causes. So A and C is actually, in my opinion, slightly easy to eliminate, because main causes and challenges, those keywords are not all mentioned. But you can become confused between C and B. Okay, because C option, 3/4 is mentioned, research findings about sleep deprivation. But one tiny word, questioning, that is not mentioned. He is actually agreeing to it. So for that reason, C is eliminated. And B, every single keyword is mentioned and the verb is mentioned, right? Impact of sleep deprivation, and is reinforcing a view. So he is using, so that is the purpose. That is the purpose of using Yvonne Cotter's words, right? So the answer to the seventh question is answer option B. Right. So again, see, the thing is, when it comes to OET, we have only limited materials. There is no need for you to practice 1,000 materials, just few handful of materials. But those materials you have to practice this much thoroughly. That is the only con. Okay, so that is something that you have to endure, right? So repetition is a part of OET preparation process. But the more you repeat, the more knowledge you'll be getting, right? So I'll be sending this document over here. So let's just take this document over here. Now, you see, the strategies over here is read the paragraph. Okay, read the paragraph. Don't isolate the quote. Okay, so means don't read only the quote coming from Evon Quarter. Understand the tone and message of the entire paragraph. See, what is the tone? What is the message from the entire paragraph? Sleep deprivation, the impact of sleep deprivation. Okay, so many people suffer from this. Okay, it causes so many consequences. Okay, obesity, metabolic syndrome, emotional distress. So that is the tone we are getting from the writer, and the same tone we are getting from the Evon Quarter's words as well. Right. Now you need to identify the role of the quote. So the quote over here, okay, that is Evon Quarter's words, it is having a role into it. Okay, it is having a role into it, and you need to identify what the role is. Is the quote giving evidence? Is it challenging something, or is it reinforcing a point? So see, it is basically reinforcing a point that the writer told in the beginning itself. Right. So that is the role, that is the duty of this quote over here. Now you have to look for alignment. Okay, look for alignment basically means match the tone of the quote. Again, the feelings, the emotions coming from the tone of the quote with the content coming from the surrounding sentences. See, the quote is having, it is showing how dangerous sleep deprivation is. What about the surrounding sentences? The surrounding sentences are also showing the same thing. The quote is basically supporting. Okay, the quote is basically supporting the idea that sleep deprivation affects many body systems. So when it comes to purpose type questions, you have to think this much depth. Okay, clearly. And then if that is very difficult, then the easiest strategy. Okay, so again, sometimes those who are don't have that much capacity, they may actually feel very scared over here. Say, don't worry. Okay, mistakes should happen, and we should be willing to learn from mistakes. Just remember, all of these things are not impossible. It is possible. Just take it as a challenge. So the reason why I go into too much detail is to give you an idea like how brilliant the OET is. Okay, so like if you take it as a challenge, you'll be learning a lot of new information. So your interest will actually keep leveling up. All right. So I'm actually purposely going to too much detail. The reason I'm going to too much detail is not to scare you, but to inspire you to, encourage repetition. Okay, that is the main reason why I'm going into too much effort. Right. So answer option B. B is the where the quote is reinforcing the impact. Okay, A is irrelevant. So causes are irrelevant. Okay, C is, questioning. That is, so he was confident. And D is research. Nothing is mentioned regarding research. So you can eliminate. Okay, so if you find understanding the answer a little bit more difficult, then just focus on eliminating answer options. Is main causes mentioned? No, not mentioned. Eliminate. Is he questioning some things? No, he is not questioning. Eliminate. Is he describing? Is there anything related to challenges? Nothing is mentioned. Eliminate. So what is the answer option that is the most difficult to eliminate? It is B and C. Or, at least eliminate two answer options. So A you eliminate and D you eliminate. Now you see, now it is either 50-50 chance, right? Now it is either B option or C option. Now you do inky pinky ponky, or so if you're lucky, you may choose the correct answer. Okay, so at least one or two answer options you have to learn to eliminate. And there is no negative marking. There is no negative marking. So if you're lucky, the guesswork may actually be the correct answer.